let's go.
That was too hard.
Nah, I got it. Let's see. I'm gonna get it right here first. Get the ball. Don't shoot it yet. Don't shoot it yet. Okay? Don't shoot it. Don't shoot it till daddy tells you. Don't hook on my legs. I got you. Ooh. Yes, ma'am. You know what time it is.
Now you're already tired.
Oh, man. You know what time. Hey, look, man. A lot of years of not taking care of my body, man. You know, I gotta get back in shape.
Think about those moments and tell the story. You don't have to run through it, okay?
Yeah.
And action.
Yeah. So I remember just one time, man, I got so high on heroin and Xanax, which is a deadly combination, that I was sitting in my van, smoking a cigarette, but I was no longer awake. I had a neighbor trying to knock on the door. I would not wake up. Finally, he went and got my wife. Finally, I was woken up by her. I was angry. I was pissed then, actually. But what made me really angry is when she called my dad. And that was, I think, the third time that I tried to stop. And it didn't work then either. As a child, the way that I was raised, that situation didn't even make sense. I was raised in a home that was for the Lord. We went to church every Sunday. We lived by his morals. I loved sports even before we got stationed, where we'd be for a while. I always played baseball. I loved baseball. That was my first love. With baseball and football, really at first, baseball, man, I got to win many championships. I got to have fun, and I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be a professional athlete, point blank, period. There was nothing else to say about that. That was my dream.
I feel like Mike Jordan, give me the rock and I'm scoring. Ayy, came from the bottom, that's scoring. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning. Oof, ayy, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Ayy, oof, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.
Between junior and senior year, I was working really hard. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to go D1. Not I wanted to, I was going to. And eventually I actually got injured my senior year. And after I got injured, I was introduced, obviously, for medical reasons, pain pills. Started doing cough syrup, Tylenol PMs, corticosteroids, Robitussin, and ultimately I didn't even know that was literally leading me to destruction. I was leading myself down a dark hole. I left Chancellor High School. I went to Orange County High School, where I actually fell deeper and deeper into the pit. Got kicked out my senior year. Lost all in any type of scholarship opportunity I had. Lost any of that. Got locked up. My senior year, got kicked out of school. Really dropped out. Had to get my GED. Had more opportunities to go to junior colleges. And when I went to junior college, I did leave alone the corticosteroids and the Robitussin and stuff, but I never stopped smoking weed. It didn't work out. I wasn't going to classes. I was actually selling weed, smoking weed, and just playing football. But that was actually the first time that I was introduced to selling crack cocaine. After that, after I left, I went to Kansas as well. So I went to JUCO. I had another opportunity in Kansas to go to JUCO. Same thing there. Never stopped smoking weed. They kicked me out of college there, and I was stuck there for a minute too. But that's when I started my semi-pro football career. played arena football. My last game was the ICFL championship. I played with a torn meniscus. I had to get surgery on my knee to repair the torn meniscus. I was prescribed opioids. That was the beginning of my downfall. There's many of years selling drugs to support my family and ducking the police and falling into my addiction. Because while I sold cocaine, I did heroin. And it wasn't within 3 years, I was now my best customer. And a year after that, it was over. I was no longer a drug dealer, I was a drug user. I don't do that scrambling bullshit. I do organized plays. What you want to do? I became the worst version of myself. I had no joy in life. I didn't appreciate myself. I was ashamed of who I was and who I became. I couldn't really tell my kids who I was. You know, really battling addiction, man. I mean, every second I needed it. It's like anytime I left the house, bro, I had to have it. I was addicted to just being addicted. I found myself every single day, multiple times a day, driving to Baltimore. And eventually, I lied to my wife. I remember I told her I went to work, but I didn't go to work. I went to Richmond to get my brother. Me and my brother riding around. We're sitting at this hotel. He goes and grabs some stuff. Then he pulls over and then he lifts the stem in the air and hits it. I'm like, man, bro. I look at the police right there. As soon as we pull off, they get behind us. Whoop. It was over. You know what I'm saying? They found crack in the car, or crack stem in the car. They found powder, which I told them was cocaine, but I knew that it was heroin. I thought it was heroin. It ended up being fentanyl. And I just remember I just started drenching in sweat because I knew that I'm about to go through detox in jail, and that was my worst fear. I was in Henrico County for 2 weeks, and once they finally released me, I had a decision to make, and I decided to call Pastor James and give him a wholehearted confession on my life of sin and addiction. From that conversation, 20 minutes later, I was renewing my life for Christ.
And the reality is, it's all around us, because the person that Bryn, I wouldn't have known. He came and he was confessional. I wouldn't have known that he was dealing with that. Hello, my name is James, and I'm the lead pastor at Salem Fields Community Church. So our whole idea here is we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Like, we have nonprofits, Christian nonprofits in our community that are doing it and doing it really well. And so we want to partner with them. Every time we've partnered with an organization like that, then the Lord begins to open the doors. And I believe it's because he can entrust us with people. We have to be good stewards of the people that God sends us. And I don't think it's not just by coincidence that as we started a partnership with Zoe Freedom Center, then God began to send us people that we could be good stewards of. It's been great to know, even as I've spoken to Dana about them, she knows their names. They've shown up, she knows their name, she knows their situation. That is big time.
Bro, he met me right where I was. A fentanyl and crack addict. And he took that because that's not who I am. After I spoke to Pastor James, he suggested that I reach out to Zoe Freedom Center. I didn't know who Zoe Freedom Center was, but I did. I looked him up. I filled out the questionnaire, and I believe Dana actually probably texted me that night, and she said, a counselor would be in touch with me, and Art got in touch with me the next day. I believe that week I was in counseling already, which was vital. Zoe Freedom Center was there for me when I really needed them. And on top of that, I didn't have money to do it, and it was free. And it's that was always an excuse for me. I don't got the money to do counseling, and there was no excuses for that. And ever since I've been with Art, meeting with him every single week, man, Art knows what he's gonna get when he gets me. I'm coming full throttle. I'm letting him know exactly how I feel, because as much as I'm advocating for recovery and doing all that, I'm still trying to learn my mind as well. All you really are is one call away to Jesus Christ. And a lot of things can be handled. Life won't be perfect. But like I just said, through all the adversity and all the normal life stuff I go through, I'm genuinely happy. My name is Bryn, and I'm living in freedom.